Welcome back. The SGX Nifty is indicating that we'll have a flat start, 10,830. Now, if you see the global context, we have been reacting to, of course, Brent crude as well. That's retreated a bit, still trading above the $60 mark, but 61.5 from that point it slipped, and now, in fact, perhaps could see sub 60 as well today. So that could be a bit of a positive for the market. And today, of course, Infosys should support with a gap up. ADR was up about 5%. Ashwani Gujral, Sudarshan Sukhani, and Mitesh Thakkar now join us. Good morning, Ashwani. Your thoughts first. How to approach the day today?
Well, good morning, and basically we still remain sideways. So Nifty futures 10,750 to about 10,900, and similarly Bank Nifty say about 27,400, 450 to about 27,800. Now, unless we get a big momentum push on either side, unlikely that our market will do too much more than just sideways action. But the upside slowly, is kind of the odds are lowering. So that way, we are at the point of decision at some point in the next few days, and more, the Nifty, the legs are getting broken. We'll see what kind of gap up you get on Infosys, etc. But overall, the market is poised at key resistances, and unless you get some big trigger, slowly we'll start to drift down.
Okay, last 2 or 3 times we've seen actually, lower, no technical expert here, but just the last couple of times the market has approached the 10,950 mark. It's been at a lower peak. Sudarshan, good morning. Let's get your stance in as well. How would you negotiate the market today and perhaps over the course of this week?
Good morning. See, the markets have been in a narrow range last week, all of last week. So that was the benchmark now for this week's price action. The support levels are somewhere around, we are talking of the cash Nifty, 10,740, and during the week the market went towards 10,870. Just 130 points of price action for 5 days. Now, luckily, this is a setup which means that we are going to get a tradable move out of this. This won't continue. 130 points won't continue. We are going to get a breakout on the upside when we can move towards 11,100, or finally we will collapse on the downside. So the trade is, if you are long, as I am long, be patient. Now we know that 10,740, 730 is our Lakshman Rekha, is the benchmark below which we will exit our long positions. Otherwise, the market is setting itself up for a rally, and that is what I am banking on. We'll just have to wait when it breaks out. Perhaps this week it will break out because it can't stay in that 130 point range this week. So my suggestion is be on the long side with a stop at 10,700 and a possible target of 11,100.
Okay. Mitesh is also with us. Mitesh, good morning. How are you approaching the day today?
Yeah. Good morning. So I think very clearly, both Ashwani and Sudarshan have highlighted it's clearly a contracting market, it's a ranged market. And rightly, as Sudarshan said, this can't continue for long because the range is, continuously contracting. Every day I think we are losing about 5-10 points because of this sloping line on the upside, which is sloping downwards, while the support line is sloping upwards. So 10,870, 10,720, roughly around the same levels which I have as my trading range. A break on either side should give you about 100 to 150 point kind of a move. So the idea should be to, as of now, deploy range trading strategies around 10,750 if you get it. Try to go long, book profits close at about 10,850, 860, and even take a short position with a 25-30 point kind of stop. Once you get a breakout or a breakdown, then I think you will see a much more directional kind of a bias and that kind of a move.
Okay, so be patient, and if you're long, perhaps there's some more time to go before the range breaks. Ashwani, good morning. In terms of individual stocks, what are you looking at, and how does one approach Infosys? I mean, how does the risk-reward look at this, almost 700 rupee price?
See, I don't think you are going to get an 8-10% type move, but if it's 2-3%, I think people will probably sell into that. So IT sector overall is breaking down below its 200-day moving average. So that way, I would like to watch whether there's follow through. There is no reason for great follow through, etc. But you have mid cap IT stocks which showed some sort of action. So maybe NIT Tech you can buy with a stop of 1150, target of 1185. IGL is a buy with a stop of 265, target of 282. Biocon is a buy with a stop of 637, target of 660. And Maruti is a sell with a stop of 7400, target of 7050. Larsen is a sell with a stop of 1380, target of 1345.
Okay. Sudarshan, how will you approach Infosys, and what's on your list?
Well, I've been approaching Infosys by saying we should be having it in our portfolio as a trading instrument, go long there, and that continues. Don't worry about gaps, just be long. There's much more potential there. That is for Infosys, but individual stocks, you know, the Nifty is doing nothing. So a lot of large caps are actually doing nothing. That's how the Nifty goes in a trading range. So the focus is on mid caps, starting with Ajanta Pharma, where a very attractive breakout is now imminent. It's already in an uptrend. So we are looking at stocks that are in an uptrend, which we want to buy. Ajanta Pharma, Dabur, it's outperforming the FMCG pack, and Havells. Havells was making new highs even when the markets are contracting. So 3 buy ideas and 2 short sells only intraday. JSW Steel, a very disappointing chart. It's given up all its gains and breaking down, and Z, which goes up, finds selling and starts drifting down again. Wait patiently for the Nifty breakout. That's the big trade.
Okay, wait for the breakout. Mitesh, one of your sell ideas is really catching my eye, IndusInd Bank, and it's quite interesting, you know, because a bank like J&K comes out and declares all its IL&FS exposure. Bandhan can declare IL&FS as an NPA, but IndusInd chooses not to. Anyway, that's a fundamental debate, but let's get the technicals around this one and the other ideas for the day.
Exactly, I think they might have their own ways of classifying NPAs, but then we can't comment on that. To me, I think IndusInd Bank, the key event is that it was doing a range of about 1545 to about 1605, and it's breaking that on the downside. So I think the declines could continue to about levels of 1480. On a 5-10 point kind of a bounce back around 1522, 25 would be good levels to take short positions and keep a stop above 1550. My second sell call is on Just Dial, where the candlestick pattern was negative. Keep a stop at 485. Look for targets of 460. And 2 buy calls. Biocon has had a good breakout, so buy with a stop at 629 for targets of 670. And MCX is something which I have recommended earlier as well, but I think there are clearly positive signals on the indicators which are continuing. So I would say that's a buy with a stop below 740 for targets close to about 784.